seems to be a very big hot button for Kody and Robyn. And they're always trying to revise history about how things were paid or what was paid.
We worked together for so long, and I helped so much with these earlier years. Like, for me, it's like, feels balanced.
I tried to help Janelle buy a house, and she got mad at it. She wanted that RV lifestyle. Now that everybody's broken up, they want to say, I didn't get something or I gave something, but you didn't.
Watching Leon's coming out episode, Leon really didn't give their mom a chance. Like, at all. They claim they're willing to answer questions, but get visibly offended by every single one. When Mary asks, are you still going to get married? Or are you still going to have kids? Leon's response is basically, oh, great, let's act like you're the problem. It's like, Leon, buddy, chill. Those are basic, human questions. It's not rocket science. Just reassure your mom. She's trying to understand, and instead of guiding her, Leon's just shutting everything down. Mary's reaction, she's not upset about Leon's identity. She's upset that she wasn't included in the process. This is her only biological child, and she's caught completely off guard. She's not attacking Leon. She's just sad they're not close enough to have had these conversations earlier. But somehow, every question is treated like an interrogation. Could Leon have handled that better? Absolutely. And let's not forget the cherry on top, Kody and Robyn. I mean, we all knew they weren't going to be the picture of understanding and empathy, right? Kody's got a whole army of other kids, living out their traditional lives, so why would he care about this? And Robyn? Well, she's got her own set of kids who probably won't be questioning anything, so why should she care either? The whole thing feels so disconnected. I honestly felt so bad for Mary this entire season, season 11. This whole coming out scene was just another piece of that sad puzzle. But Leon was out here with this attitude like, oh, your questions are dumb, Mary, or you're dumb. Every time she asked anything, it felt like they were just waiting to pounce on her for how stupid she was for even daring to ask. I get it. Leon grew up in a cult and probably feels embarrassed about old clips of themselves. That makes sense. But that doesn't mean they get to be condescending and dismissive toward Mary. It's one thing to be defensive, but the tone of superiority was infuriating. It's like they were just waiting for any excuse to call Mary out for her ignorance. And honestly, I just can't stand when people act that way. If you're going to educate someone, do it with a little patience, not a you're an idiot attitude. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Kody really missed out on getting to know Truly. I've been rewatching the show, and I'm at the part where Maddie and Caleb are prepping for their wedding. When Maddie asks Truly to be her flower girl, Truly's response is just heartwarming, so full of grace and love. She clearly adores her older siblings. And it's heartbreaking that Kody, for whatever reason, hasn't been able to form that bond with her. Truly's one of those kids who just radiates love, and it's a shame he's missed out on that connection. He'll never know the joy of being on the receiving end of that affection, either. On the flip side, Christine's lucked out. She found a real gem in David. Anyone who takes the time to get to know Truly, like David has hit the jackpot. Seriously, she's an absolute hoot, and anyone who gets to be around her is lucky beyond words. One moment that stood out to me was when Truly and David were driving together in the U-Haul while moving Janelle. That spoke volumes about how close they've become. I'm sure Christine and Janelle would have made space for Truly in the truck if she didn't want to ride with David, but she chose to be with him. That's a huge deal. What a blessing for Truly that her mom found someone like David to step up and be that father figure in her life. I'm still not sure what the show was trying to achieve, but one thing's crystal clear: they were terrible parents. Now, I don't think they were trying to be bad, but honestly, there were just too many of them. 5 parents, and yet somehow they still couldn't manage to keep it together. The show ended up being less of a feel-good family story and more of a cautionary tale about why plural families might not be the best idea. I came to this conclusion after seeing just how many mental health crises their kids went through over the seasons. First, there were the older girls' breakdowns in the early seasons. Then, Hunter, Peyton, and Gabe had their meltdowns in the middle of the show. And let's not forget Robyn's oldest daughter, watching her suffer from panic attacks every time Kody even raises his voice. That's not normal, folks. She was having them 4 to 5 times a week. 4 to 5. That's not she's just having a tough time with the move. That's a major red flag. And I won't even get into Garrison, may he rest in peace. But yeah, let's just say the whole thing screams something went seriously wrong. And every time they talk about the kids' mental health, they just point to the move. Oh, they were just upset about moving. Really? No, that's just the excuse they fall back on. Moving may have been the last straw, but it's not the real reason their kids were falling apart. It's like they used it as a scapegoat for much deeper issues. Then there's Truly. Christine at least did the right thing by moving with her, but I really hope she's not too distracted with David to notice her daughter. Truly was on the same path as the others, and it's pretty obvious she was being neglected too. And of course, the excuse was that Truly was just getting caught up in the internet. But let's be real, Kody was completely checked out of her life as soon as Robyn had her 2 youngest. I honestly think Truly got the worst of it from Kody. But hey, Robyn's kids needed him more, right? I'm not blaming the kids for anything, but I do feel for them. I'm especially heartbroken after rewatching that episode from season 14, when Robyn's daughter had that panic attack while Kody was yelling about buying a house. My heart just broke for her. Then there's Janelle and Christine. Remember when they agreed to yank their kids out of Las Vegas? That was when they should have stood up for their children. But no, instead, they just went along with it. Let me just say this. Kids are impacted by 3 things more than anything else: death, divorce, and moving. Moving is traumatizing. It's not just about packing up, it's about losing everything. Friends, school, sports, family. Gabriel and Hunter probably lost girlfriends too. The kids had to start over in a totally new place with all their achievements left behind. You don't get to be class president again. You don't get the same friends. You don't have the same room, the one you probably decorated yourself. You lose everything. I remember when my parents decided to buy a big mansion in the 70s, 9 bedrooms. We were devastated when they said they were putting an offer in. We cried for days, and my parents were shocked by our reaction. So they backed out. And trust me, that level of distress is nothing to scoff at. Look, I don't buy into the whole Janelle and Christine are besties narrative that they're pushing. Sure, that's the story they want to sell, but if you actually watch them, Janelle clearly gets annoyed with Christine more than once. And honestly, who could blame her? Janelle's the more introverted type, so it's not shocking. I'm not buying the whole forever sister wives thing. They clearly like each other, but they're just very different people. They're not over here throwing bestie bracelets at each other. What they have is more like a sister relationship. One of those where you're not hanging out every weekend, but there's a shared history, mutual respect, and the understanding that you care about each other's kids. You think of them around holidays and special occasions. You don't always have to love each other, but hey, they're family. At the end of the day, it's a sister thing. There's definitely love there, but yeah, they're on different paths, and that's bound to cause a little friction. Imagine if Mary had actually taken Robyn up on the whole having the baby offer. Total disaster waiting to happen. Let's be real, there's no way Kody and Robyn would have actually handed over that baby to her, ever. It's easy to picture Robyn talking a big game about it, but that was never an offer she actually intended to follow through on. And Kody? Yeah, he wouldn't have agreed to it in a million years. Let's say, hypothetically, that Robyn did let Mary take the baby, which we all know wasn't happening. In this fantasy world, I'm betting Robyn would have clung to long-term ownership of the kid. I mean, sure, the baby would have needed breastfeeding, but that was just the start. It would have been a constant thing. Robyn making sure the baby spent time with her and the rest of the tenders, aka the rest of the family, in case anyone forgot that gem of a term. Fast forward to the baby being 10, and Miri would still be stuck in Flagstaff, unable to leave. And of course, everything would have to be approved by Kody and Robyn, because, they're so deeply concerned about the baby's well-being. What a mess. Robyn's new house. Let's see how long she can manage to keep it titty enough for filming next season. Honestly, I'm betting the clutter's just waiting to pile up as soon as the cameras stop rolling. And can we talk about Janelle for a minute? I'm still so salty about her having to buy in with her kid just to afford a house, while Kody and Robyn casually drop over $2 million on theirs. Let's be real, that $2 million wasn't exactly funded by Kody's gun show earnings. You just know Robyn saw that house and thought, finally, a place for all my dolls. But nope, she's already probably started filling it with random stuff the second they signed the paperwork. The garage will be bursting with things they don't need, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a few storage units packed with junk too. As for Kody, he's gonna give us a house tour just to show off. He'll want Christine to see that he's won. A bigger house, Truly's own purple bedroom with cowboy art, because of course, that's what every kid needs. I can totally see him turning this into some kind of competition with Christine. Watch out for a vow renewal with Aurora strumming the guitar and Aerie playing the flower girl. And just to top it off, he'll take Robyn on a second honeymoon to Europe. Take that, Christine. Has Kody ever gotten upset with Robyn? Because honestly, in the endless episodes I've watched, I can't recall a single time when Kody raised his voice or even got mildly frustrated with her. Sure, he's had his moments with the other wives, plenty of those, but Robyn? Nope, she's basically a saint in his eyes. But surely, somewhere in the earlier seasons, before Christine left, there was at least one moment where he snapped at her, right? I'd love to find that episode, because it feels like I'm missing something. Oh, and remember that gem before the commitment ceremony? When Maddie asked what would happen if someone didn't want to sign the mission statement, Robyn chirped up with, they'd have to move out. Well, Kody wasn't having it. He basically shut her down, shouting, I'm not forcing anyone to sign. Like, sorry, Robyn, but Kody's the only one who gets to make the rules here. Kody's meltdown during that group picture in commitment ceremony, absolutely hilarious. Seriously, it was like the perfect storm of frustration. His tight smile through gritted teeth, the desperate hissing at the kids to look at the camera, and the complete confusion over what he was actually feeling. Dude, that's what we call overstimulated and touched out. As a mom of multiple kids, trust me, that's what pure overstimulation looks like. Nerve shot, patience gone. What made it even funnier was that Kody acted like it was the first time he'd ever felt that way. Sir, you have 17 kids at this point. You're telling me you've never been this overrun before? Yeah, sounds like you've been dodging the chaos as much as possible. Christine's reaction, though, so unbothered, showed she's had to shoulder the load solo for way too long. Rockstar move on her part. And for anyone who doesn't quite get what we mean when we say we're overstimulated or touched out, just watch that scene again. It's not about low blood sugar or dehydration, folks. It reminded me of this one guy I dated. He was always moving at full speed, constantly rushing through everything, even the smallest tasks like unloading the dishwasher. And of course, that made him clumsy as hell. He'd break dishes or spill things, then get pissed at everything because of how fast he was trying to go. Meanwhile, I'm the opposite, slow, steady, cautious. And oh, how much that annoyed him. Thank God I ended it after 11 months of living together. I didn't realize it at the time, but his behavior was a total mind of asterisk. It was like living with a big toddler. Super charming one moment, then suddenly hostile the next. And if I ever pointed out his issues, he'd blame it on being hungry or thirsty. Classic narcissistic ADHD behavior like Kody. I can totally see what these women have been through. When you're in love with someone like that, it's incredibly confusing. They can be sweet, but then it's like walking on eggshells all the time. Mary's insistence on Leon talking about the catfishing situation, especially with Mary's friends, really comes down to her need for validation. She's pushing this whole closure thing as if it's the ultimate fix for everything, but really, what she's angling for is forgiveness. She wants Leon to see her as a victim in all of this, and of course, not acknowledge that she played a role in it. The fact that she was still married to Kody at the time, while the other women weren't, is a huge detail she conveniently overlooks. Leon, understandably, isn't having it. When Mary says closure, what she really means is that she wants Leon to forgive her and move past it, preferably by agreeing that Mary is blameless and a total victim. This is especially frustrating for Leon, who tried to warn their mom and was ignored. Mary can't handle the idea that Leon still holds her accountable for the mess, especially when she's so busy positioning herself as the wronged one in every situation. It's classic Mary. She has to be the victim in every scenario, even if it's at the expense of everyone else's feelings. At the end of the day, Leon is right to shut it down. If I were in their shoes, I'd be equally frustrated. Mary's refusal to take responsibility and constantly play the martyr would drive anyone crazy. Why are the adults always so nasty to Mary? I'm rewatching for the first time, and I'm in season 13, episode 1, and it's like they're all taking turns being extra mean to her. Do they really enjoy this on camera? Are they just showing off for the audience? I don't know. Also, Robyn, please, enough with the SWC talk. No one cares. And let's talk about Kody. He's a master of manipulation and triangulation. It's clear that after he married Robyn, he had a heart-to-heart with Mary, where he basically told her she was terrible to him, and would now be ostracized until she followed his long list of demands. By season 13, I think the others realized they could treat Mary however they wanted, and it wouldn't change how Kody felt about them. Maybe they were just getting a little payback for all the years Mary didn't exactly play the role of gracious first wife, and let's be real, she's admitted it herself. But honestly, I think the original 3 wives would have kept Mary as the first wife if they had any say in the matter. Robyn wouldn't have even been a blip on their radar. Then there's Kody. Kody is the common denominator in all the mess between the original 3. Robyn was his favorite, so all she had to do was whisper off camera and get whatever she wanted. Now that neither Janelle nor Christine are fighting for his attention, they seem to be getting along just fine. Meanwhile, Mary and Janelle, not competing for Kody anymore, can at least manage to talk about things like common interests, like, I don't know, CP. And don't get me started on MSWC. Kody was behind the whole business idea, which explains why it was a total disaster. No plan, no strategy, just vibes. That's why the OG3 had to keep pursuing their own outside ventures. They were basically running their own businesses to survive. I'm not a fan of MLMs, but honestly, if Mary's just shipping out leggings, it's not like the tiny sales from MSWC were going to make her a millionaire. Janelle, on the other hand, was actually trying to sell real estate, completely different ballgame. Robyn was totally fine with the whole thing as long as it meant she didn't have to lift a finger, could get more jewelry, and have date and diddle for her. I was honestly proud of Janelle for ditching that necklace Kody designed. That was a true power move. I'm also hoping that Mary and Janelle can at least start working towards some kind of positive relationship, especially as they go head-to-head with Kody and Robyn over the land. Now that the whole living situation is out of the way, and their marriages are officially done, maybe things will chill out a bit, or maybe they'll find some common ground. Janelle claims they just had nothing in common, but honestly, if Mary had been cruel to Janelle's kids, I really doubt they'd be in this position. Kotex and Robyn. Should the FBI investigate? because honestly, these two are shady beyond belief. Closing family business accounts and making off with the money. Classic move. Moving Robyn's kids across state lines without the bio dad's knowledge. Just a casual disregard for parental rights, right? Cutting down trees on property you don't even own yet. Who needs boundaries anyway? Buying art but somehow forgetting to pay for your child's scoliosis surgery. Priorities, people, priorities. Bullying your kids on national TV, calling them jerks, getting their pencils wet, and then using some bizarre coronavirus rules as an excuse for not doing anything for them. Sure, that makes total sense. So yeah, is there a valid point here? I think the answer is a resounding yes. Justice is needed, just like it was for Gaius and Chrisley. These actions are enough to make anyone suspicious, right? But hold up, let's pump the brakes. None of this is technically fraud. Janelle, for example, watched Kody make those withdrawals with full knowledge and never said a word to the other wives. That's not ignorance. That's either not caring or just being too spineless to confront him. So no, not theft, not fraud. But here's the kicker. If you share a joint account, you better be ready for the other person to clean it out like it's theirs. That's why a good lawyer will tell you to freeze the account during a divorce. It keeps either party from making off with everything. People really need to get this through their heads. If you share a mortgage, you're 100% responsible for it. If you have a joint account, it's not a free-for-all where you can suddenly claim, "He took all my money without consent." Don't like it? Keep your finances separate. Simple as that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.